Hi YouTube, my name's Kurt. This is my droid R4ME, and this is my bulldog Bentley, who just jumped up on the couch as I started pressing record, so I guess he's going to be in the shot too. Hopefully his breathing isn't too loud. So I wanted to start this channel because I went to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge recently, and I made my own droid there. And that experience was unbelievable, and I'll probably do a review on it at some point, but I made this droid right here, R4ME, and it was love at first sight, really. I got to make it myself, and when you make something yourself, you have more invested in it than if you were just to buy it off of a shelf, which really made me feel really attached to this droid. So when I got home, I started seeing this droid pop up everywhere online, that people were making the same one that I made, and I was like, oh, it's cool that everybody's making that droid that I picked, but it kind of didn't feel special anymore. So what I wanted to do was paint him and make him my own, really. And that's what I did, and that's what you see here. You can't buy this one anywhere. This is custom paint right here. So I started this channel because I figured other people would want to do the same thing. And I'm going to try to walk you through how that goes and kind of what I learned, because I'm not an artist. I just had a dream to make a turquoise droid, and that's what I did. So I'm going to try to walk you through it, and hopefully you learn something, and you get out there and paint them yourself. Make it your own. So next I'm going to walk you through what supplies I used. Alright, we're out here in my garage now where I did all my painting, and this is everything I used to paint this droid. And we'll start with, I think the star of the show here is the spray shelter. This thing was invaluable. If you're going to do any kind of spray painting, especially in an enclosed environment like a garage, you don't want that spray paint going all over the place, and it drifts. Trust me, it does. Some of it's on my driveway. I'm gonna have to get all that up a little bit later on, but that's okay. You don't want to do any spray painting near any cars. I made sure all the cars were out of the garage. Spray shelter really keeps a lot of that drifting spray paint from going all over the place. So that's huge. I'll leave a description down below where you can get it on Amazon. And the next thing you'll probably want is a tarp. It's always good just to have a tarp, just in case any spray paint drifts around. Use a tarp. And the next huge piece of equipment that I used are these different masking tapes. So they come in different, let's see if I can get down in there. They come in different sizes, and I got these on Amazon, and I'll leave that in the description too, where you can get those. But they come in different widths, so you can really get some fine detail when you're spray painting. And these were the two colors that I used. I used this, got this at Home Depot. The color is called Lagoon. It's kind of a teal color. And for the head I used this Rust-Oleum metallic. It's titanium silver, which I think looks great. It's super shiny, and it does look like his head is made out of metal now, so that was awesome. Used a couple paintbrushes for the fine details. Like these. Right down in here. Get some of the fine details in there where the spray paint missed. X-Acto knife. Definitely need an X-Acto knife when working with this thin masking tape to make sure that it gets in the places you need it to. And to cut off any corners that need to be cut off. Definitely need an X-Acto knife. And a screwdriver. And the screwdriver you can use to take the legs off, because you don't want to paint this thing with the legs still on it. And those are super, super easy to get off. And the next thing that's really good for the screwdriver is you can actually take off this eyepiece with a screwdriver. You can take his head off, his head pops right off, and you can see, let me take his head off right now. Sorry, R4. Get that head off. Yeah, it just comes right off. You see down in here, well, you can see there's a screw right there. And you can just unscrew that and the eye comes right off. Which I wish I would have known before I painted, but I did figure it out. No big deal. And I have this gold paint that I got at Joann's. Actually at Michael's, I got it at Michael's. And that was for these cords right here. Just hit those with a little bit of gold, makes them stand out a little bit. And those were all the supplies I used. And I'll leave in the description all the links on Amazon for some of this stuff. Just makes it really handy. Alright, and next I'm going to show you how I painted this guy. Alright, so the first part of the droid that I painted was the head. I just wanted to start at the head because I thought it would be the hardest part to do. So I wanted to get that out of the way. So first I decided that I wanted to spray paint the accent colors first. Because I thought it would just be easier to spray the whole thing in the turquoise color first, and then go back and do the masking tape to get all of the silver on here. And it turned out that was the way to go. Because if you do your accent colors first, and then you go back and hit it with the main color of the head, you kind of get a nice kind of chipping along the main accent color, and it kind of makes it look nice and worn, which you kind of want in these droids. You want it to look a little bit old. You don't want it to look brand spanking new. So do your accent color first, paint the whole head in your accent color, and then go back in with the masking tape. And tape all of these accent colors, cover all of those up in masking tape. And then you go back and then you hit it with the main head color. And that's how I did the head. I let it dry. You want to let it dry. I put the eyepiece back on, screwed it back in. And it was done. And this masking tape was just my savior. I never would have got all this fine line detail in the spray paint if I didn't have all these different widths of the masking tape. Some of these are really thin. It's perfect. And after I did the head, I started with the body. So what I did was I popped these guys off. You can still see that it's purple on the inside, which was the main color of what I had before. Didn't need to paint that side of it, no one's going to see it. So I popped these guys off, and I got masking tape, and I masking taped all these vents. I think that's where the sounds come from. So you want to tape, let me get the masking tape on this, cover all this up, because you don't want paint in here. Put the masking tape on this one. Yeah, I think that was all I could do the masking tape on, and I painted this whole thing in that teal color. It's everything teal. And after I let that dry for about a half hour, then what I did is I masked this whole body. All of the teal parts that are now teal, I covered in masking tape, and I used just regular computer paper to cover the large areas, so I didn't use all the tape. And then I went back and I spray painted all these little silver areas in the silver spray paint that was all exposed. All this teal was covered up. And I did the same thing with the legs. I painted these legs all teal. And then I covered it in the masking tape, and I used just regular computer paper to cover the areas that I didn't want the silver paint to get on. And I spray painted all of these details that were exposed, all the silver. These come off too. Spray painted this silver. You can see there's still the original white color there. And another little trick that was pretty handy was I would just take the silver spray paint to get some of these fine details and just sprayed it on this tarp, because it doesn't go through the tarp. So I spray painted the tarp on the ground, and I took just a regular brush. I just kind of scraped it along all the stuff, all the spray paint, and then I just went in and then just touched up the areas where the spray paint didn't get in all the way. And you can totally use a paintbrush to paint on some spray paint to get some better details. And that's also how I did all the aging. If you can see. All of these like silver, just distress marks. All I did was take the paintbrush and then just paint the silver. And it came out really nice. Alright, and R4 is now all back together. This was a really fun project. It really tests your patience though. This will take you hours to do right. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes. I hope I helped a little bit so you can avoid some of those mistakes. But, you know, use the force and do what feels right. You'll be fine. Don't be afraid about messing it up too bad. You're going to make mistakes. That only just adds character to your robot. That's all I can say. Have fun doing it. You're going to make it all your own. Get a couple, just last little detail. Love that silver. Alright guys, and then that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like this video. Leave comments if you guys actually want to see one start to finish, how it's painted, and all the masking tape, and how to properly do all that stuff. With my first video, I just figured I'd keep it short. But if you guys really want to see all of that detail, I'll be happy to do another robot. This was fun to do, and I'd be happy to do another one for you guys. So leave some comments down below. Check out the descriptions for all those lovely little devices I got on Amazon to help me make this thing happen. And I'll see you guys next time.